What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about MSTR today, strategy. Hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it. I did not make a game plan video last night. I'm sorry for that. I normally do, but I didn't. Here we are at about $360 now on this Monday, the 28th. I was like, it's not the 25th. It's 2025. Monday, the 28th of April, 2025. $360 now, down about 2% on the day. Bitcoin itself is pretty neutral. It had some downside, right? Over the weekend, it moved down a little bit. That's why I think that MicroStrategy or strategy is moving down, right? Here you are in a position right now where you could be rejecting off the overbought zone. We don't want to see that. So the idea would be, the ideal idea would be that by the end of today, over the next 4 hours, 22 minutes, that you continue to grow, you recover, and you get a green day. If not, rejecting the overbought zone like this in this way could provide some lower prices. Right here, we rejected the overbought zone. When we rejected the overbought zone here, we went down for a good bit, right? Here, you rejected it twice. When you rejected it once, you went down for a couple days, went up, which could happen here, or we reject it here, and then we go down even more, right, over the time. In fact, every time that we reject the overbought zone, it's normally not a good thing. Normally, it's not a good thing. So don't do that. Don't do that here. Close today green. We have 4 hours left in the day, 4 hours, 21 minutes left in this day. So get above, I guess you wouldn't even have to get back to the open, right? Because we opened up a little bit. Get back to $368.71. Close there. Even if you close a little bit below there, I'm okay. It doesn't have to be technically a green day, just something of a neutral day, something that's not so harsh of a rejection look, right? Something that can tomorrow and the rest of the week continue to build into the overbought zone. That's what we want to see. You're finally getting here, MicroStrategy. You're finally here where you can see the overbought readings on a daily time frame. This is where you do your best work. The last time we were here, in the overbought zone, was here. This is when things were really just getting started for you, where you were at the beginning of this overall move that took you from a low of like $100 all the way up to about $540. You know what I mean? So this is just the beginning. Please show us that you're just beginning now. Don't show us that you're teasing. Don't reject here, because if you do, we'll probably move back down to about 335, perhaps even back down to about $300, maybe even just below there, and then we'll have to try again at a later date. And I think I speak for all of us, not financial advice, not a financial advisor, but anybody that's been holding MicroStrategy since November is probably ready for this thing to rip, right? We're probably ready for it. So let's rip, let's get up there, right? Let's keep going. I'm okay with that. I hope you're okay with that. Looking at this here on the 3 hour time frame, the 3 hour RSI is bullish. It's very bullish and cooling off a little bit. What's nice about this is you're actually getting a lower low in the RSI while maintaining a higher low. So move up, MicroStrategy. Just don't do it yet. Close this next 50 minutes. Close this 3 hour here. So we get the lower low in the RSI. We're outside the overbought zone. Close it here. That way we can begin moving up, right? We got the hidden bullish divergence on our side. Maybe even close it a little bit lower. It's fine if you do. Not saying that you have to, but hopefully you don't make too big of strides to the upside over the next 50 minutes. Hopefully have that saved for the end of the day more so. Looking at the 1 hour time frame, 1 hour looks good too, man. Bouncing off the 50, lower lows, higher lows here. I like it. So hopefully you do hold this area as support, but you don't get away too quick, right? Just wait like an hour and then start pumping, okay? But if you start pumping beforehand, I'm not going to be upset with this thing. Inevitably, MicroStrategy, strategy, MSTR, whatever you are, high to low, we're anticipating a move that will take you all the way up above $1,000, right? The target area that we're looking for is something around $1,100 to $1,300, something like that, right? Which is about a 220% growth to a 252% growth, something like that. Over the coming months, by the end of June, if not by the end of July, that's the expectation, right? If not there, then maybe what we do is we move up to about 1,600, 1,700. We could see that happen. The maximum expected area that I could see would be about $2,100. I don't think we get here by the end of June, by the beginning of July. We could. It's possible, but I'm not expecting that. But if that does happen, I think that if strategy gets all the way up here by the end of June, by the beginning of July, it's very possible that could be your cycle top. It is very possible that could be your cycle top. So be prepared. This could be the last move in that kind of aspect. If not, if we do what I think we're going to do, which is likely go between about $1,100 and $1,700 here. I like this $1,100 to $1,300 area, but we should definitely consider this. Then likely what we do after that is we consolidate a little bit more, and then we have our final push up to the multi-$1,000 price. I would would expect, and I do expect, that once strategy, whatever you want to call it, is at $1,000 or more, or even maybe just like at $900 or more, there'll probably be an announcement of a split so that the price can come down. So while we're talking about these prices now, by the time we get up here, they'll probably be, it'll be a 10-to-1 split. So probably be, instead of $1,100, it'll be like $111. Instead of $1,200, it'll be $120. You know what I mean? So don't get it married to these prices. Do get married to the percentage growth. The percentage growth remains the same, but the prices will change. Weekly time frame here, looking at the weekly RSI, looking pretty damn bullish. We're at the same area in the lows that we were at here, right? If you look at the weekly RSI, this was an area that we're literally at right now. We actually do have lower lows in the RSI, higher lows here. That is hidden bullish divergence, but beyond all that, you can see that we're in the same area that we bounced from before, right off the 40. Very powerful signal, and that enabled us to grow all the way up here. I do theorize, and I have theorized for a while now, for months now, that while this was a nice move, 377%, that the next move would actually be larger, and I think this move would be measured from here if I'm being honest. So 377% takes you all the way up to about like right there, $1,100. I think this move will be larger. How much larger? I don't know. Maybe it's 400%, 450%. We're at about $1,300. Maybe it's dramatically larger. Who knows? But I do think that this move will be the biggest move single-handedly that you've had this cycle. And I do very much expect it to be stronger than the last move. I think the weekly RSI would agree with that. If we see a movement, if we see something like this that does get up near this high, it doesn't even need to get to this high in the RSI, but if it gets near it, certainly if it gets above it, we will see a stronger move. That would validate it as well. I'm just ultimately expecting that we do get into that overbought zone. Once we got into the overbought zone here on the weekly RSI, let's see, it was right there. We were already well underway, but we were about halfway through this move. We still had a good bit to go. So the fact that we're already moving up this much, we're at from a low to a high now, about like 58% up, and we haven't even been in the overbought zone. That's great. I think that we have a lot of growth to go. And it doesn't stop here, but not financial advice, not a financial advisor. It might stop for a week or two. It might stop for a day or two, probably this week. This week would be a recovery week if we reject the overbought zone here. There are scenarios, and it's not common. We speak in commonalities, not in exceptions, right? Sometimes if the exceptions are obvious, we'll talk about exceptions, but generally, without exceptions, when you reject the overbought zone, you go back down to the 50. You go back down to the 40, right? You find support there, and that wouldn't be too crazy. Higher lows in the RSI wouldn't be too crazy at all. So to avoid this, close today green, or maybe if we close today red, the next day we would have to close green. We'd have to reverse this. So it's uncommon to reject the overbought zone and then move up the next day. But whenever that does happen, that totally negates the bearish effects of rejecting the overbought zone. So I've given you a couple of things to consider, I hope. Ultimately, I think we're moving up. If we move down, the lowest that I could see strategy moving down to is about $300, maybe just below $300, but I doubt it does. Just prepare yourselves in case I'm wrong, in case we don't just rocket to the moon. We could go down here, and that's fine if we do. It's fine if we do. It's a higher low. It's not a problem. It's finding support at prior areas of resistance, prior areas of support. I can't draw a straight line to save my life on this thing, but you get the point, right? I don't think that I have anything else to say. I'm running out of steam here, so hit the like button, subscribe. Oh, look at this. Hey, here's a good thing. We don't actually look at the monthly too often. The monthly, I wouldn't necessarily call this a bullish engulfing candle, but to be fair, you will have the highest monthly close that you've had in 1, 2, 3, 4 months. This would be the second highest monthly close that strategy has ever had in its existence. The second highest close that it's ever had here. So I think, right? Let's zoom out. Yeah. That's the second highest monthly close. So that's a big deal coming off of these lows too. I think that's a really big deal. Monthly RSI bouncing off the 60. I mean, hell, man, the last time we did that, it just all lines up with more to come. Okay, so there is more to come. Be patient. Over the coming months, I think it's going to be very rewarding. I got nothing else for you guys. Hit that like button. Subscribe. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one. Take care of yourselves, and bye.